Do you talk more or do you listen more? They're both good tools to have in the toolbox. You should be able to communicate with yourself, communicate with others, communicate with the culture around you at work or the culture around you at your place of living, whatever the case may be. So, talking is a great tool. What about listening? How often do you sit and listen? And listen and contemplate. So, actively listening. You're not listening to respond, but you're listening to try to understand the person's point of view. There's a lot that goes into communication. There's what we actually say, there's body language, there's energy, there's tonality, there's the situational awareness. There's a lot that goes into communication, and that's a lot of stuff that we coach and we can coach on. But this video, I'd like to challenge how much that you particularly listen. I don't know who you are, but just as an example of a random person, it has been my experience that we tend to come preloaded with the answers when we're in a conversation, especially when it comes to something emotional, like, does Donald Trump's conviction mean that he shouldn't be president? Or should we be giving money to Ukraine? Or should Palestine and Israel, depends on what side you're on, right? All these different hot topics that are emotional. How often are you listening to the other side actively? So let's take, for example, the Donald Trump 34 felony Class E convictions that just happened. And maybe I can sum up both points. On one end, you feel like most likely every president of the United States has done things like have hush money and has done things that may be below board. The CIA certainly does it literally all the time and then just says it's for the greater good of the country, right? And we have different forms of government that do stuff like that literally all the time. That's what they're supposed to do. So you could see where, okay, if you think that this just happens in our government, then the timing of the president's court case is pretty suspect. It seems like it could be a political move. I can see that. I can understand that. If I'm listening to somebody and they have that point of view, I can understand that. Additionally, if somebody has the point of view that this has come out, this is not an acceptable behavior for a president of the United States, and because of that, I don't want him to be president, well, I can understand that too. That makes sense as well. When we sit and we actively listen, the world goes from black and white to quite gray. Is that a good thing? I don't know. But what I do know from years of coaching is that people that have more information tend to make better decisions. And the better decisions that people make, the better lives that they make for themselves. So I believe that perhaps it may behoove us to actively listen when we're in some of these challenging emotional places. Let's take another one. Let's take Palestine and Israel. There is not an easy solution there. It's not as simple as, just free Palestine. It could be. I could understand where, hey, we don't need to keep these people down. I get that. I also get from Israel's perspective that they're run by Hamas and that there was just an attack on them on October 7th. Like, I get both of those points, and man, what a tough place to be, to have to figure out these geopolitical, emotional, violent type of things. I understand that has got to be hard, and I understand how emotional it must be on either side. That allows me to take in more information And if I chose to try to work towards some sort of solution, I think that more information would help at least come up with a solution that is more tenable to each party. By the way, I have no idea what the solution is in the Middle East there. But I do know that more information and more active listening would help us get to some sort of solution. The point of this video, as from a coach's perspective, is challenge yourself. Really ask yourself in each interaction, how much am I talking and how much am I listening? And then maybe you could do a third category of how much am I actively listening? How much am I really trying to think about what they're actually saying with their body language, what they're actually saying with their tonality, what they're actually saying with their energy? And once you kind of make these little tallies, you could probably do it on any given day. Once you understand how much you listen and how much you talk, those should probably at least be balanced. But if you're talking, there's no way that you can take in information. And if you can't take in more information, how do you expect to make better decisions moving forward? So, short story, try to actively listen. And if you think that you do, challenge yourself to do, a one-day little survey of yourself and see how well that you do that. That's my suggestion. If you have any questions, please contact me. Thank you, guys.